In the case of human beings, after fertilization, the zygote is formed. Of course, zygote is formed in case of all animals. But what happens after that? That's what is interesting to know. What happens is that the zygote undergoes repeated cell division and it forms embryo. So, in a way you can say that zygote changes into embryo. But where does this take place? The fertilization takes place inside the oviduct. When ova is released, and at one time only one matured ova is released by ovary. This ova comes into the oviduct and it stays there for a while. If a sperm is able to reach the ova and fuse with the ova, then what we get is a zygote. Then this zygote moves and comes to lie in the uterus, and it is inside the uterus that it develops a connection, the vascular connection. What is vascular? Where there is blood. So, there is a cord developed and there is a vascular connection, and that gets embedded in the wall of the uterus. Now, the zygote is inside the protected covering and inside the uterus. You see, during when zygote was being formed, the wall of the uterus also prepared itself. It becomes thick, spongy, richly supplied with blood, and then this zygote divides repeatedly and forms embryo. And after that, the cells are no longer only similar to each other. They start getting differentiated. Differentiated, what does that mean? It is very closely connected to the word different. That means it acquires different shape, size, structure, so naturally different function. And the multicellular structure changes into a kind of structure which has distinct parts like arms, hands, feet, eyes. Now, what is this stage? Now, this is not similar to embryo, it is not just multicellular. So, the stage when various parts can be identified is called fetus. So, embryo changes into fetus. It is the stage in which, the stage of embryo you can say, in which various parts can be identified. And it takes more than 9 months, 9 months and 9 days for the complete development. And once the fetus is fully developed, then by the contraction and relaxation of uterus, the baby is pushed outside from the female body, and then that umbilical cord, the cord which was developed with mother, the connection, that gets broken, that gets severed, and then the child is able to live outside the protective covering of mother's body. But till then the child is inside the female body. So, you see, you can see that the development of embryo and fetus can take place very nicely in a protected environment. But in other animals, what happens? That the development takes place in the external medium. So, they may survive, they may not survive. The chances of survival of a mammal and especially the human child is much more as compared to other animals. So, that is why the number of babies or the young ones produced is also less.